Hi guys, again, welcome to my channel. Welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marnell and I'm a watercolorist. I've been painting for quite a long time now, and I also vlog about pet care tips, pet care hacks, because I have two lovely huskies, Atlas and then Luna. And if you want to check them out, or if you're interested in some pet care tips, you can check out the rest of my videos down below. So, also, I do travel vlogs from time to time. So for today is very special because I'll be teaching you how to paint a new type of flower for today. I know last week I showed you how to paint loose watercolor orchids, but for today we will be focusing on a new flower which is called the Labyrinth Dahlia. This is the Labyrinth Dahlia. I know there are a lot of dahlias out there, but we will be focusing on this type of dahlia for today. So before we start, I'm going to show you the materials that I used for this painting. So for the paper, I used the same paper that I used last week. This is by Fabriano, 10 sheets, 200 GSM. I also bought this in Art Bar in Rockwell for 70 pesos. So it's very cheap compared to my other papers. So for the paint, I know I showed you how to, I showed you this brand, Symbalion watercolor cake. It's very, very cheap. But for this painting, we will be using a different type of brand, which is called the Winsor & Newton half pans. So I know this is very expensive, not a little bit expensive. It's 150, I think, to 180 pesos each. So, but you know, you pay for quality. So I highly suggest na you try. Siguro you buy siguro the primary colors, tapos you just mix them so you can create more colors. Ganun lang naman usually. Just buy the blue, the red, the yellow, tapos yun, kayo na bahala mag-mix so you can get the greens and then the purples, ganun. Basta it's very, very nice. This is highly recommended. For the brush, we will be using one type of brush. This is by Winsor & Newton also, number 0. Yan. So, the usual, we have my water containers, dalawa po siya, and then my ever trusty palette. Again, I don't use plastic, I only use ceramic palettes. Why? Because it's great for mixing colors. So, if you want to learn how to paint this, again, please, stay with me, and I hope you can paint this with me. So let's start.
Now I have the ceramic palette with me, which I will use for mixing the paint later on. The paints that we will be using by Winsor & Newton. Of course, we have my tissue paper for dabbing. And then we will also be using this color, Violet, by Winsor & Newton. So before we start the painting, I'm going to plan out where I can paint the center part or the pistil and stamen of the flower. I'm going to start at the center part of my paper. So as you can see, I'm going to be mixing the color red and the yellow so I can get the color orange. The dahlia that we will be painting for today is a little bit of mix of orange and reds. So we are mixing. I'm putting a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red. So it depends on you, on how dark you want the color orange to be or how light you want it to be. The more red that you put, the more it's gonna get a little bit on the reddish side. It's gonna turn out a little bit of red-orange, but if you want it a little bit lighter, then you can put on more yellow. So I'm gonna be painting the center part of the flower. As you can see, I am painting some little lines that will resemble the pistil and the stamen of the flower. And And then I'm gonna be mixing a little bit of purple on the edge so it can blend a little bit, but you don't have to worry about the details because I'm gonna be putting on the final touches as we end the painting later. So moving on, I'm gonna be painting, as you can see, that kind of looks like small teardrops. Those are actually the super small leaves surrounding the center part of the flower or the stamen. So I'm gonna be repeating the same steps until the full stamen is covered with the small petals. Now that the first layer is done, now we move on to painting the second layer of this dahlia. The labyrinth dahlia actually has a lot of layers or multiple layers, but there are also single dahlias available in the market. As you can see, I am retouching and I'm putting a little bit of purple in the middle part. I am actually letting the color violet bleed together with the first layer of the flower. For the second layer of this flower, we will still be using the same technique that we used while painting the first layer of the flower. So again, small teardrop-like petals. These petals will actually resemble as the petals of the dahlia that are about to open. Some are actually still half open. So when you're painting the petals of the labyrinth dahlia, it doesn't have to be like super perfect or even, because this will actually give the painting a more realistic look. So I'm going to be painting more smaller petals, and I'm going to be using the same technique that we used until the second layer is full. So if it makes it easier for you to paint the petals, you can actually move the paper around. on to the third layer of the dahlia. As you can see, this time the leaves are slightly a little bit bigger and longer. I'm gonna be using the color red in the middle part of the petal, and then I will slightly trace the edge of the red petal that I just painted with the color orange, and I will let both colors bleed. So we will just keep on repeating this same technique until the full third layer is complete. Now we are finished with the third layer of the labyrinth dahlia. Since this is a multiple layer dahlia, we will need to paint a few more layers to complete the full flower. Now you are done with the fourth layer of the labyrinth dahlia. Now we proceed to painting the rest of the layers until we are finished. We are almost done with the labyrinth dahlia painting. As you can see, I'm doing the final touches and a little bit of highlighting. I'm putting a little bit of red on the tip of the petals, and I'm gonna be highlighting some of the smaller petals in the first few layers.
again, congratulations for finishing your Labyrinth Dahlia tutorial. I hope you learned a lot of things from me today. So again, I hope you stay tuned for more art tutorials in the future. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also I'd appreciate if you can leave your comments down below. Maybe you want me to paint a different type of flower next time. Then please let me know. Again, till next time, thank you again for watching.